Morning guys, I'm Dave Canterbury with the Pathfinder School, and what I wanted to discuss with you this morning is another type of shadow board. We'll go back to our original shadow board experiments and project when we get a day that's got a lot of sun. Right now we have very intermittent sun. So I'm going to show you a very simple method that you can create in camp in about 5 minutes that will give you a very good general direction of heading, and you can repeat the process over and over as you leapfrog to stay on that general bearing. It won't give you any exacting bearings, but it will keep you in a good general bearing. It's very easy to set up, very easy to use. All you're going to need is a flat piece of wood of some kind like this one, and you could just split a plank out for that from a piece of wood or whatever the case may be, and then you draw a simple circle, and all I did was outline my bush pot. I put an X on here and I put a hole in the middle of it for a gnomon. And I'm just using a 10-penny nail through that hole as a gnomon. And then I have marked south, north, east, west. Now if you notice, the east and the west are reversed in this compass rosette, and there's a reason for that. And it's because of the way the sun shadow travels on this board. But we're using a circle here. And the way this works, and I'll show you in just a minute, is the front of the board here is your direction of travel. So you stand with this board in the sun and you move your body like you would with a compass until the shadow hits the area of the compass in the direction you want to travel. So you could actually do southeast, southwest, northeast, northwest, and you can see that I've got a shaded area here on the north side. The reason for that is if I have my back to the sun, there will be no shadow on the north side from this gnomon unless I put it out in the open and walk away from it and then manipulate it, get back behind it, pick it up, and move on. So that's important to understand for us as well. It's going to require sun. This is going to work best from about 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the morning till 2 or 3 in the afternoon, which is the best times for you to travel during the day anyway, before you want to set up camp for the night. If you were afraid you might not have sun the next day and you wanted to travel a little bit, you could always take your last reading and leave your board laying in the direction that you wanted to travel before you settled in for the night. This is very, very simple. One circle, one X. The only thing you have to remember is the east and the west are reversed. Pick the board up, put the north to the front of you, and then spin your body until the shadow is in the quadrant you want to travel, and go. Very simple. I'll demonstrate it to you in just a minute. Okay, so you can see now I have a shadow moving around this board as I spin my body. So let's spin our body around here, and we have our arrow in the western quadrant. That means the front of this should be pointing in a western direction. Okay, so here's something we need to realize while we're waiting on the sun. And that's exactly what we need to realize. We're waiting on the sun. This is a sun-dependent system. But because it's so fast, it works very quickly in intermittent sun. Unlike a shadow stick and things like that that have to be left on the ground and checked and calibrated, this allows us to get a general direction or a general heading and stay on that heading over distance, even with intermittent times of sun. Okay, we're getting ready to get a shadow here, and it's going to be really quick. All right, see, we got a shadow on the board. It's moving around the board now. If I want to travel west, boom, the shadow's gone already. I have to assume that this board is facing in a westerly direction. So let's get our compass out. If we put the needle in the doghouse on this compass, our east-west line is right here. I'm sorry, our north-south line, excuse me, our north-south line is running right here. So we are absolutely in a westerly direction. Yes, we're a few degrees off, but for something that took 5 seconds and the sun was gone, that's pretty good. All right, guys, here's a couple more things real quick. Waiting on the sun again. I want to give you guys a good show of how you find north with this thing for a travel direction. The sun's back in for a minute. So here's another beauty of this system. No calibration, no setup time really other than drawing a circle in the X and marking your quadrants in there. Remember, east and west have to be reversed for this system. It's simple. It's KISS. That's what I like about this system. It's almost impossible to mess up unless you don't get your directions reversed right here. It's stupid simple, and that's what I like about it. I like things that are bulletproof in survival and bushcraft, and this is pretty bulletproof for general direction. This is probably as close as you could possibly get to a button compass without having one. Here comes our sun again, guys. Okay, here's our sun, guys. We barely got any time here. Now, simple deduction. If I want to find north and the sun's going down, I know that this is going to need to point northwest because the sun's in the west. So I'm going to lay this on the ground real quick. There, my shadow's already gone. I'll lay this. Look at that, guys. The front of that compass is almost facing dead north, or the front of that shadow board is almost facing dead north with the shadow facing northwest. The sun's going down. Simple deduction tells me that the shadow is going to be on the west side of this quadrant. So if I want to travel straight north, I need the shadow in the northwest. Okay guys, well I hope I didn't confuse you too much, and if I did, I can make future videos. Here's the thing, I'm excited about this because it's new. It's not how to build a fire, how to make a shelter. It's not what's in my pack. It's not what knife to carry. It's not this is the best knife or that's the best knife. What this is ancient technology that I have melded together with my own theories and thoughts to create a new system for primitive navigation in the sense of general direction finding, and it's a little bit more accurate than that if you know how to use it. But it's easy to teach, it's easy to do. There's no calibration required. It doesn't matter what season of the year it is. It requires very little materials and can be made from all natural materials. And that makes it dummy proof. And that's what I like.